What's up, fellow collectors? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be a curator today. Guys, we have another fun episode of M.I.B's Time Capsule. And today, guys, here on a Friday, we're going to step back into our time machine and go back to the year 1999. And that's where these two figures, G.I. Joe figures, came from. We are looking at some unique boxes to start off, but let's get their names, guys. This is the G.I. Joe U.S. Coast Guard Cold Water Immersion Suit figure. And when I saw this figure, immediately, it was love at first sight. The immersion suit. I've always been really a fan of this particular suit. The Coast Guard got some really cool gear. And this guy right here is our G.I. Joe Vietnam Jungle Recon figure. And if you notice, they have the Try Me, which I'm sure a lot of kids did. So finding these guys, I believe I found both of these guys at Walmart back in 1999. Both figures, like I said, are very unique because of the box. And it was a brilliant design by Hasbro, because these figures operate in a way where they can't have any plastic in front of them, because they're this one, Try Me, pistol drawing action. So there's a lever in the back of this box that you pull down on, and both hands raised, and he's got his pistol drawn. And we'll attempt to do that. Not a lot, because like I said, I don't handle these figures a lot. And I'll get into that as well. This figure has the machete, Try Me, push button for machete chopping action. So his arms raises with this machete in his hand. It's a chopping action. And Hasbro's attempt to make these figures interactive for kids didn't really work. Like I said, this even in 1999, kids were really starting to get more into their video games and other things. And so this was these particular G.I. Joes were just all the G.I. Joes, as far as I'm concerned, from 91 all the way up to 2004, 2005, when G.I. Joe really shut down production, major production, was really for collectors. Pure and simple. Pure and simple. So these guys would, look how clean his outfit is. Somebody asked me a while back, how do I store these guys, these particular figures that has open, boxes, window boxes. This is what I store them in. This, it's like these plastic bags that come over the top and over them. Real simple. Like I said, I don't handle these figures, particularly this figure right here. As beautiful as this suit is, it's delicate in many ways. You have to keep this guy out of sunlight. You got to keep him out of moisture. That's with all your figures, but even more so when the figures aren't protected with window boxes. with no covering, so that's dust, sunlight, moisture, all that can really wreak havoc on figures like this and clothing. So as this still has its deep dark orange color to it because it's kept out of sunlight. Here in the museum, no lights are really kept on when I'm not in the museum. All lights are shut off. There's no sunlight in the museum. No areas, windows are closed off and covered up and sealed. Nothing's getting in, nothing's getting out by way of sunlight, moisture. I really go out of my way to protect these figures, to keep them looking like the day they came off the toy store shelf. Some things are impossible, though, particularly let's say a lot of the plastic that was used back then. You'll see the yellowing of the plastic that encases his rifle, his hat, his dog tags. You'll get that from time to time. That's just a reaction, I guess, to the plastic. You're talking about a figure that's 26 years old. Both of these figures. And like I said, once again, phenomenal condition, just like they came off the toy store shelf back in 1999. But it's not 1999. It's 2025. But these two were some really cool figures. And you say, well, his plastic didn't have that reaction. I don't know. That's just the way some of this stuff goes. There's not a rhyme or reason to some of this stuff. The way the stuff was packaged and the materials used. But guys, this is all the way from 1999. Your thoughts? Do you have this figure? These were not very expensive. I believe both figures were a part of the Bravo assortment back then. And they were, I want to say $24, $24.99. So not expensive at all. I don't believe that these figures are that expensive now on the secondary market. So you can still find these guys relatively easy. Now, the point is, the question is, can you find these guys in, phenomenal condition, still in their box? That's the question. Well, if you're not collecting mint in box, it really doesn't matter unless his suit is messed up. Or if you get stuff like that, then don't buy it. But if he looks like this and he doesn't, the box is damaged or he's loose and he looks, and still in great shape, the cold water immersion suit is in phenomenal condition, then I would say that still buy him. He's just a really cool figure. He's one of my favorites. We'll turn these guys around and I'll let you see what I'm talking about as far as the Try Me. So here's our cold water immersion suit, G.I. Joe. See, push down on the lever. It's right there on his back. And here is the Try Me push button for machete chopping ice. So this is more of a push button, and this is more of a lever. Why they did it like that back in 1999, I'll never know. We'll never know unless we talk to some of the engineers that designed these figures. But here's how that works. Just push the button and that chopping action. And here, he doesn't have, how cool is that? They show you the picture, the little instruction pictures. But our cold water immersion suit G.I. Joe doesn't have that. At least I don't think so. I don't see anything on his box. And maybe it's on the bottom. Nope. Top. Nope. But we're gonna try it. Let's try our cold immersion suit G.I. Joe first. Let's see. This is always tricky. Let me just see, make sure, because I don't want to. Make sure I got it where. Let's see here. And that's, I'm not gonna do it a lot here, but he can do it way faster than that, but because I don't want to damage the box. That was pretty cool. But interactive. Action Man had one that I have that figure as well. Quick draw figure where it does basically the same thing. And let's try this. This should be a little easier because it's a push button. So let me make sure I get my finger on here. Let's see here. And that's right there, just like that. But I don't, like I said, it's a headache. This one has always been a headache. You're pushing a button, but you got to really push that button. So this Try Me guy was probably, his box probably got destroyed. Or actually not this particular box, but a lot of this particular figure, his boxes probably were destroyed in the toy stores, because you had kids trying to really do that. And you really have to practically manhandle this figure with the button, because it's real stiff and doesn't really work the way it should. But this was Hasbro's, once again, this is Hasbro's way of trying to make an interactive toy. Hit or miss. And I think this was more of a miss than a hit. And I think it's just from simple design. I think they should have went more of a lever, the way they did with the cold water immersion suit G.I. Joe. U.S. Coast Guard figure. Your thoughts, guys? This time capsule. We got some more fun time capsules videos coming out here on a Friday. Got my coffee on, drinking some coffee, just relaxing down here in the museum. Really early, so stay tuned, guys. You know the routine. God bless. Stay safe. And by all means, keep collecting.